Yo, what's up guys, Boss here, and I'm back in the YouTube video. This time we're going to be playing some top ladder, testing out the newly buffed ZAPPIES. So if you guys remember, I think it was a couple seasons ago, the ZAPPIES got a rework, and it ended up not really being a buff. They kind of just stayed the same. But this season, the ZAPPIES got a direct buff, no rework, just a straight up direct buff to the ZAPPIES. Their first attack is, I believe, 0.1 seconds faster, or I remember someone did the math and their first attack is 18% faster than what it was before. Now, that might not seem like a huge buff, but you have to remember when the ZAPPIES were a really strong card, that's actually what they ended up nerfing, their first attack. So it makes me think the ZAPPIES are going to be kind of making a comeback in the meta, or at the very least, going to be strong in a couple decks. And if you guys remember, about a year ago, one of the best decks the ZAPPIES paired with was the Royal Hogs, and I wanted to test that out because I really liked using Royal Hog ZAPPIES. So I kind of put together a deck that I thought would be good. You have a lot of Fireball bait cards, and you have the recruits to kind of serve as like a wall, tough for your opponent to break through. And just overall, it looks like a good deck. Snowball for pushback. I think Snowball pairs well with the Magic Archer, ZAPPIES, Skeleton Dragons, that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and go into the first game. Haven't played too much ladder yet this season because it's only, I think, the third day of the season. If you guys want to support me, you can use my creator code BOSS. It really does mean a lot. Any of you guys who do use my code, so I appreciate all you guys for the support. But let's go ahead and go into the first game. Test out the ZAPPIES. I've only so far played a few games with them, but, you know, from what I've noticed, there are a lot of interactions that are different because now there's so many circumstances where they'll be able to, you know, start damaging something before they get attacked. They can stop the charge of both the Prince and the Dark Prince now, whereas before I don't think they did. And also, there's just, they get more damage on offense now because they'll get that first attack in, stunning the tower, allowing them to continue attacking. So there's just overall a lot of small things that make them just stronger and overall more annoying than they were before. So this guy's an Inferno Drag. ZAPPIES are a perfect counter because it'll just keep resetting it. We can go for a Magic Archer. And we'll see what he has. He has an Inferno Dragon, Skeleton Dragons, so it could be like, I was just about to say it could potentially be a Lava deck. So I'll just go for Royal Hogs and a Heal Spirit. And then on defense, so he just committed 5 on defense. That's perfect because now he's not going to have a ton of elixir to support his Lava Hound. So I guess we could just go for Skeleton Dragons and then ignore the Barbarians because the Magic Archer's done enough damage. If he Fireballs, I'll go for ZAPPIES. If he plays a Balloon, I'll go for high ZAPPIES to take it out. But it looks like he didn't have too much elixir. He just wow. So we can go ZAPPIES on defense. I can Snowball. And the ZAPPIES are going to do a pretty solid job of cleaning everything up. And because he was so aggressive, I'm going to go Royal Hogs. He's probably going to play Skeleton Dragons, but by the time he plays them, yeah, as I said, I knew he was going to play them because that was his best response in cycle. They were already going to get a lot of damage because the Heal Spirit was guaranteed to heal them up because he used his arrows, so there was no, with his Lava Push, so there was no way for him to heal them. And we're already off to a really great start to this game. We'll just go ahead and cycle Fisherman. The one thing I will say about the Royal Recruits, you've noticed that I probably haven't used them this match. Against Lava decks, it can be a little tricky to use them, but because he did just use his Skeleton Dragons, which deal Splash, I guess it kind of makes sense to use them in this case because they're going to apply a lot of pressure, force Barbarians out of him. And perfect Heal Spirit, healing up the Skeleton Dragons, so the arrows and Zap don't end up killing them because they got healed up as he was arrowing, so that kind of worked out perfectly. And this game is looking like it's pretty good for us. I guess we can just go for a Magic Archer. Snowball, this is why I like having Snowball in the deck. I just think it pairs really well with most of the cards in it. And just allows you to have pushback against things such as, you know, Balloons or, you know, Royal Hogs. Anything like that can be nice because you don't have the Fireball, so I think it is good to have a little bit of pushback. And we just need a tiny bit more damage. We got so much damage in the opposite lane. That's the thing with this deck. Split lane pressure happens a lot. He's probably going to go Barbarians on defense. Yep. Oh, so he pretty much just helped me win by playing those Barbarians because the Fisherman just pulled them. We might have gotten a little lucky. I don't think he expected that to happen, but I'll take it. So let's go. We're top 1700 now. Let's keep going. Founding game versus Bamja. We'll give him the good luck. I don't usually like starting with Royal Recruits, so I'll just wait a little bit, see what he wants to do. I guess I'll just snowball that. So Bass doesn't really tell me much at all about his deck. He's gonna go, whoa, so Balloon, Goblin Gang at the bridge. Okay, wasn't really expecting that. But yeah, so Zappies, guys, here's the thing about Zappies. I'll tell you, you know, because I used to use a lot of Zappies, and from what I can remember, here are the things that Zappies do incredible against. One of them is Balloon. Another's Ram Rider, Battle Ram, anything that gets just slowed down so much. It's really good against. But yeah, like, especially the Balloon, Battle Ram, and Ram Rider. Those it does amazing against. It also does really well against RG. Just keeps slowing it down. And, you know, I'm telling you guys, I would actually give Zappies a try because, you know, you can tell I'm pretty... You can tell I'm a huge fan of the Zappies just from how I'm talking, but that's because I really liked using them, you know, a year ago, so I'm just pretty optimistic that they're going to be good again, because part of it's because I want them to be, because I like using them in Royal Hogs, but just from what I've noticed, they seem, you know, a bit stronger, and any card that gets even just the smallest of buffs really does help it, especially just making it somewhat viable in a couple of decks. Okay, so we're just gonna... You know what? I'm gonna play Royal Hogs, just because if he does counter this easily, I have Zappies in rotation, so I guess we should be fine. I can just Fisherman. I was waiting a second because I wasn't sure if he was gonna Balloon behind it, but it looks like he's not going to. Fireball's out of cycle as well, so if he goes in for a Balloon push, Zappies are just gonna shred everything. We can snowball that. Okay, so he's gonna, honestly, kind of a similar deck to the last game. Only difference is that this guy kind of has like a Loon Cycle deck, but he's got the Inferno Drag and... I'm kind of, I don't want to split recruits unless I'm up Elixir, because otherwise it could be a little bit difficult to defend his Balloon after playing recruits. So I kind of just want to chill. We can actually... Oh, since he just fireballed, we can go for Royal Hogs because now, yeah, we can snowball that. Ooh, he does have Valkyrie, so that is a little annoying. He's got so many, you know, hog counters. He's got the Valkyrie, he's got the Fireball, but you can see we're still managing to outcycle him and break through. I guess I'll just go for the Zappies. I highly doubt he's going to Fireball them, but they're going to get so much value. They keep resetting the Inferno Drag. We can go for Royal Hogs. And he's just going to Fireball, but they're still going to get damage unless he... Okay, he arrows, so he just used so much Elixir on defense. The Zappy should get one connection. Yeah. So we can go for Skeleton Dragons. He doesn't have Fireball in rotation, so we can just easily snowball this Balloon back just to make sure it doesn't get a connection. And then I guess the recruits are going to get some damage, so he's gonna... Okay, he's just going to ignore them. I guess some people really underestimate the Royal Recruits even after the buff they got, but you can see recruits, very, very annoying. This deck in general, very annoying. Complete just spam deck. You know, you got, like, you know, half the deck is split cards, right? You have the recruits, Royal Hogs, Skeleton Dragon, Zappies, all can be split. Just constant dueling pressure. Alright, made our way up to 1300. Let's keep going, see if we can build a good win streak here. Maybe get to 5900. Alright, here we go. We're going to wait a second or two, maybe even a few. If he doesn't do anything, I'll just probably cycle Zappies in the back just because, you know, Zappies in the back is one of the best starting plays in my opinion because it forces a response out of them, and you're putting something in both lanes, and it's a fairly cheap card, so it's kind of like, you know, they either have a couple options. Play something in the lane of the two Zappies, rush you in the lane of the one with, like, something cheap, but I guess I'm just going to Fisherman. I don't really have another play. Thing about the recruits is you don't want to play them too early until you know what the win condition is, because they could just straight up rush you if you play. So another Balloon deck. I mean, they're all different variants, but you know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of that time when I was recording a video and I versed, I think, Golem in a global tournament 5 times in a row. It was actually kind of nuts. So, I mean, we're probably going to end up getting more damage than he got on our tower just because of how aggressive he was. So that's why when the balloon got a connection, I wasn't really that worried because I knew we were going to have a good counter push. And he's clearly not pleased with how much damage he took. It's kind of his fault, though, because he went balloon at the bridge like first play of the game. That's kind of what happens. If you're aggressive, then... Well, yeah, he's also down Elixir, clearly. So the recruits in the back were a good timing as well. Because with his Baby Dragon being out of cycle, that's, you know, one of his best, you know, splash dealers for the recruits. We'll try to protect this Magic Archer. Zappies are going to do a great job of that, kind of like surrounding it. And then once again, we have a nice little counter push. Giant Skeleton's not going to do much at all there. Zappies just keep stunning it. It's just doing pretty much nothing. I'm going to recruits because Giant Skeleton got completely wasted. We still have stuff up. He's laughing. I think he already knows he lost. I mean, like, I don't know what he's even supposed to do at this point because Zappies are so good on defense. And then, of course, it's fairly easy for us to break through. Heal Spirit's still very broken even after the nerf it got, clearly. And yeah, it's going to be GG. I mean, that's actually going to give him a little while there. Because, you know, I'm in a good mood right now, so I might as well. If you guys are wondering why I've been pretty talkative or in a good mood in general, it's because I've, well, I started school this week, and you know what I noticed? Whenever I take I decided my first week of school to take off streaming and not stream for like a week. I haven't streamed the last like 4 days and probably won't the next 3. Maybe I'll start streaming again next week on like Monday or Tuesday. It's good to, I feel like it's good to take a break because usually I stream like 2 or 3 hours every other day. And it's been a while since I've taken like a solid break. So it's just kind of been nice, you know? It's really important to take breaks. I feel like a lot of people, you know, underrate that or underestimate it, you know? Even if you're just like a YouTuber or streamer, and especially for me now doing school, like having a lot of other things going on, such as CRL as well, it's important to give yourself some breaks. And after taking a long break from streaming, it's made me realize how good it is. To be honest, just to occasionally just take a week break or even just a few days off of streaming can be really good. This guy's not doing anything, so I'm just going to split Skeleton Dragons. Overall, it's a pretty safe play. He's going to have Musketeer. That could be a lot of different decks. Musketeer is one of the best cards in the game right now, in my opinion. He's going to have Bar Barrel. It could be Graveyard. I'm actually just going to cycle recruits because we got a Fisherman up, and I guess I was right about it being Graveyard. It's definitely looking like what it is. Could also be Royal Hogs with Bar Barrel. But it's looking like, because there was a Royal Hog Barbarian Hut deck last meta. But it is looking a lot like it's Graveyard. But I guess we will see. Okay, that was actually a little unfortunate that the Fisherman didn't really do much of anything there. I'm going to go in, though, because his delivery is out of cycle, and actually the Heal Spirit's going to be really good. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering why I was that aggressive, is his Heal Spirit, or sorry, delivery was out of rotation, so I figured we could get a little bit of damage, and it kind of worked out, I guess. And now we don't even have to deal with the Hunter. Nice, he's probably going to bar putt right now. Yep. I could have even gone for a Prediction Magic Archer to try to chip it, but it's a little risky, because even though I knew he was going to, you know, if there's that slim chance that he didn't, it would be bad. He's got Bar Barrel and Delivery, probably Poison as well. Yep, there it is. So he's got a quad spell deck. We can freely Magic Archer now because his poison's out of cycle, which is really nice. Okay, so having a little bit of trouble to break through. I mean, he does have a lot of, you know, defense. But that was a nice heal spirit. But again, another nice delivery on his end. I feel like slowly but surely we could potentially break through. And again, this deck I made today, kind of similar to the Royal Hog Bridge Spam deck I made a video on with Cannon cards. So there's a couple adjustments I could consider making, you know, to make this deck a little bit better on offense, such as oh my gosh, did you see that Heal Spirit? And some people were saying the Heal Spirit was going to be a lot worse after the nerf it got. You know, guys, I think it's still potentially the best card in the game. I mean, did you just see that? Like, that was the third Heal Spirit that game that just got... It's 1 elixir. And it got probably each of those times... the 3 times where I was like, oh my gosh, and really pointed out how much value the Heal Spirit got. It was like... at least 6 elixir value for a 1 elixir card. I mean, it healed up Skeleton Dragons when they were almost dead, Magic Archer when it was almost dead, as well as Royal Hogs. Like, that's kind of nuts, to be honest. Alright, we're top 900 now. We're 1 game off of 5,900. We'll try to get 5,900. I'll play 1 or 2 more games, depending on how long this next game is. And I'm really liking this deck, guys. I'm liking the Zappies. You know, when they got that rework a couple months ago, you know, I could tell pretty much early on they weren't really that much better. But right now, not gonna lie, a lot of interactions are different. They just seem to be much better on defense. You know, I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. Are they going to be a broken card? Of course not. Of course they're not going to be a broken card. It's not like a Heal Spirit or a Fisherman. You know, I don't even know if the Fisherman would be considered broken. But, you know, very, very good in the meta. But I will say this. It definitely is going to go from being one of the, you know, going from potentially... I don't know if I'd say the worst card in the game, because the worst card in the game is, you know, probably E-Barbs or something like that. But it was in the top 5 worst cards. It's going to go from probably being the top 5 worst cards to being almost an average card, in my opinion. Or just maybe the bottom 30, but way better than the, you know, bottom 5. Because keep in mind, there's like 99 cards in the game. So maybe it's in the, you know, bottom 30, but that's way, way better than it being in the bottom 5. I'm just gonna try to do some split lane pressure. That's what this deck does very well. You know, I don't know if I could have defended the wall breakers. I probably could. My reaction time wasn't the best, but I mean, I'm going to let that Dark Goblin lock on, and then I'm just going to snowball the Skeleton Barrel. I hope that Rascal doesn't do too much damage. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they both did... Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, those wall breakers are... That's why I was considering putting Log in the deck instead of Snowball, just so then that way I could actually... That's one thing I might change. You know, again, I didn't test this deck too much out before I started recording. So maybe Log instead of Snowball, just so it's better against... You know, clearly we're having a rough time here against this Log bait deck. I feel like that could be a pretty solid update to the deck. Because... Oh, Fisherman was... Whoa, whoa. Did you guys see that Fisherman? It was going to pull something and then it ended up pulling nothing. I needed to defend that. Like, that was kind of my, you know, I had a chance there, but I guess I needed to play the, I knew he juked the barrel slightly, I just didn't know if he played it on the left side or all the way in the front, and it turned out he ended up playing it all the way in the front, so my fault that I didn't recognize that. This is going to be a little bit annoying for him to stop because we do have the Magic Archer, which does really good against things such as Skarmy and like Rascals, and oh my gosh, did you see that Magic Archer? So even though we don't, okay, that was an interesting princess. Yeah, it's GG. So even though we don't really have a great response to his princess as well as the Young Bear, we still managed to win just by Magic Archer kind of saving us there. And that is why I was considering putting Log in the deck. Obviously, it would be tougher to beat things such as Balloon or, you know, I'm trying to think of a couple other things. Like, you know, Balloon obviously would be one of the main things. But if you had Log, it could even help if you're against a Heal Spirit deck. Obviously, Log bait, you know, like Mortar bait, Wall Breakers. So I'm kind of, you know, not sure. I really feel like it could go both ways. But yeah, I think we're gonna go for one more game, and then maybe, you know, when I'm done recording, I'll test it out with like a Log instead of Snowball in a Grand Challenge. I'm 6-0 right now. But yeah, let's go for one last game on ladder. We're on a huge win streak right now. See if we can end on a win and keep the win streak going. Reverse, okay. So he just used 4 elixir. That's the perfect time to play recruits if your opponent does something like that, like splitting skeleton dragons, because you have the counter push and it kind of like blocks them, the skeleton dragons, so they don't end up getting any damage on your tower. So he's got barbarians. He has, maybe he's got a Royal Hog deck too, because, oh wow, so I'm just gonna Magic Archer. Maybe he's, what, he's got a freeze. I was about to say maybe he's gonna poison, and then, okay, he just used 12 elixir because he just went graveyard free. Yeah, how is he even gonna defend this? Yeah, I don't really think that was a very smart play on his end. Lots of aggressive opponents, kind of like the one that went Balloon first play earlier in the video. This guy kind of just went Graveyard Freeze first play of the game. I mean, he got damage, but then after he played those arrows, which are very questionable, he kind of had no elixir to defend, so not very sure why they're being so aggressive, but he of course can make a comeback because if he freezes, it could be hard for us to defend. We gotta watch out for that Musketeer. We still got over 1500 HP on our tower. I guess we're fine. But, you know, we gotta be careful here. Oh wow, his skeleton dragons are getting melted. I don't think he can't freeze everything. Like, he can't hit the Magic Archer, so I guess we're fine. And then this counter push is gonna be quite difficult for him to stop. We could even, nope, get retargets onto the knight. Well, that's gonna be it. Very nice and easy video. Bunch of easy wins in a row. Weren't too many that got too close. You know, the log bait one was probably the one that was the closest, but you know, we end pretty much top 500. You know, we actually are top 500 because there's glitched accounts still, like this guy, you know, this guy. There's always glitched accounts. The highest person right now is currently this one who's 11th, but everyone else is, oh, actually number 10 as well. But then everyone else is glitched, as well as a lot of people who, maybe even down here. I'm not sure though. Yeah, like this guy. So, anyway, we do get a legendary chest. We'll go ahead and open it. And yeah, I think that'll be it for the video. So, I mean, let me know what you guys think about the Zappies. I personally think just, let me check how many games in a row I won with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Because I won a couple before I started recording. So, I mean, 8-game win streak. You know, obviously it is early season, and, you know, we might not be versing top-tier players because, you know, early season it... But then again, it might be a good thing because it's what you guys might be used to on ladder. You guys might be used to versing decks that are a little off meta, so it might even be a good thing. But, you know, seem to be better overall. Definitely noticeable the difference in my opinion, especially on defense, and just they seem to stay alive a bit longer, and just overall, you know, just start targeting things quicker. You know, 18% faster first attack, so not bad at all. But that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to like it if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. And let me know what other buffed cards you want me to test out. Definitely going to test out the Bomber. Fire Spirits, I don't know. I still think they're going to be pretty bad. Not even sure what deck they'd fit in. The only one I could think of is maybe Expo, but I don't know about the Fire Spirits. The Bomber, I'm thinking Golem Bomber. Anyone who used that is going to be good for them because the Bomber definitely did get a small buff. But that's going to be it. Thanks again. Until next time, guys.